My sister, I am struggling to respectfully to my learned honorable member on the other side to understand his position that the Supreme Court has directed Parliament on how to do his work. I am struggling to understand how the Supreme Court has done that, because the Supreme Court only stated that it has granted a stay of execution of the Speaker's declaration, and the Supreme Court set down some timelines, which on the 11th of this month, next week, the Supreme Court is going to hear both sides. So I did not, or I still cannot recall how the Supreme Court directed Parliament on how to do his work. And I noticed that my learned honorable member on the other side kept on saying, put it to me, for me to answer. But I haven't seen or heard the Supreme Court directing Parliament on how to do its work. Again, there is no way in the Constitution that my honorable member correctly stated that is where they should sit. It's true. But as you ask the honorable member, where were they sitting? And why did they now move to go and sit in another place? That is where the key is. If you do respect and accept the stay of execution that was granted by the Supreme Court, it means everything must stay at the time on or before the 17th of October, when the Speaker made those pronouncements to declare that certain seats have become vacant. It stayed. So if it stayed, then why are they now stretching seats to go and sit somewhere simply because the Speaker, and they made it correct. They made this one clear, that they don't listen to the Supreme Court, which I agree. But the Speaker needs to absolutely make it clear that the Supreme Court has stayed his orders, and therefore those who sat previously at position A should go and sit at position A and do business.
Well, Speaker says he believes in the supremacy of Parliament, not in the supremacy of the Supreme Court.
No, he didn't say that. The Speaker didn't say that. The Speaker said he believed in the supremacy of the Constitution, not the supremacy of the Supreme Court. He never said the supremacy. And in any case, the point I made, I didn't say that he should answer the question as to where we sit. What I said, you should ask him whether at the Article 9 of the MPP Constitution deem these three members of Parliament no longer be members of the MPP or not. And if so, what is the MPP number in Parliament now? That's why I said you should ask my colleague there.
Can I respectfully answer the honorable member?
Please go ahead.
As far as Article 97 is concerned.
No, 9. Article 9 of MPP. No, I say Article 9 of the MPP Constitution. Article 9 of MPP Constitution.
But please let me. You see, the Article 9 of MPP's Constitution is inferior to Article 97 of the country's Constitution, 1992 Constitution.
Yes.
And therefore, if you hear me, that position will be clearer. If you read Article 97G, Article 97G, which the Speaker relied on as the basis to declare that those seats have become vacant, it says if they move from one party to another, or if they entered as independent and seek to join, and seeks to remain in Parliament, this is a critical line that some people are not reading, seeks to remain in Parliament. Now, have they moved and seeks to remain in this Parliament? Or they have declared an intention to not this Parliament, but in the future Parliament, come in a different form. That's what the key is. Seeks to remain. Please, my learned honorable member, read that line. It says seeks to remain in Parliament. That shows that we are talking about this present Parliament. And therefore, we are talking about this present Parliament. And therefore, if you bring in somebody's intention for the future without noticing that it says seeks to remain in Parliament, clearly, you understand. Clearly, sorry, some calls were disturbing me. Now, and then without noticing the words seeks to remain in Parliament, you may think they have vacated by virtue of their own NPP's article, whatever you mentioned, which I don't know. But the point is, the Constitution is saying seeks to remain in Parliament. Therefore, there is an ambiguity there that the Supreme Court has to explain. If you say seeks to remain in Parliament, is in reference to this Parliament or is in reference to the future Parliament? That in itself calls for an interpretation by the Supreme Court. So that being the case, why are we not understanding that we should give the Supreme Court the opportunity to explain or to look at it?
Lawyer, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question before you proceed? Lawyer, with all due respect, can I ask a question?
Oh, yes,
can I ask a question? Is there any use of the word future in that provision of the 1992 Constitution you just read? Have you found any word future?
Can I answer now?
In that?
Can I answer?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can answer.
The Constitution says seeks to remain in Parliament. That's the expression there. So
no,
are we talking about this person?
You are saying future Parliament. I said the word future is nowhere found. In any case, if it is not this Parliament, is the future Parliament, then what would be the use of that law? Because assuming the next Parliament starts today, and then the next day someone does that, and you say, oh no, it's in the future Parliament. So that person will be in Parliament for another 4 years.
That's why we are waiting on the Supreme Court to interpret the law for all.
No, but I'm just saying, no, but when you quote something, quote it well. You don't add words.
Well, let me quote it for the hearing of all our viewers.
Yes.
If he, Article 97, Clause 1, Subclause G and H. G, if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party, or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member, or if he was elected a member of Parliament as an independent candidate and joins a political party. In the G.
So what is future here? And then
so that's why lawyer was saying that it wasn't his.
You can't explain for lawyer.
No, I'm not explaining for him. I was going to quote exactly what he said, but that's fine.
I'm saying the word future. There's no any word future in there, and he said that it is talking about the future Parliament. So I'm saying, if it is granted that what he even said is true, if you want to look at future Parliament, then what would be the use of that law?
Okay, let me go back to lawyer. Honorable Mutala says that if it is, yes, lawyer, I'll give you the opportunity. Then what is the use of the law?
The honorable member's position, I understand it.
Right.
But I'm saying, because there is an ambiguity there, they say seeks to remain in Parliament. Obviously means we are talking about this Parliament. Then you go back and say, have they left the party now, but seeks to remain in this Parliament? That is where the key, that's where the matters are. That's where the matters are. So, and I think in order to avoid this situation repeating itself, I think we need to give the Supreme Court the opportunity to make a point on this, so that we know roadmap that in the future, whether a speaker like Michael Quay did by declaring a seat vacant, which has now been followed by Speaker Babin, whether in the future Speaker Kwame Adofo can also declare a seat vacant. It's a very simple, straightforward matter, because per Article 99, it's the job of the High Court to declare. And therefore, by virtue of a speaker declaring a seat vacant, he is acting as a High Court. In my view, that position needs to be settled by the Supreme Court. And I think we should all give the Supreme Court the opportunity to settle this matter.
Can I come in? Can I come in now?
Honorable, please come in.
first and foremost, I am happy about what my senior, colleague just said, that it is the job of the High Court. So it means that Afenyo went to a very wrong court, and therefore the Supreme Court didn't even have the jurisdiction to do what they did, because they were not called upon to, let me finish, they were not called upon to interpret any law. And I have seen senior judges, including Justice Atogba, and many other judges who have said that the Supreme Court didn't need to get engaged in it. Afenyo should have gone to the High Court. That's the first point. And two, my colleague asked whether indeed they still members of the MPP. That is why Article 9 of the MPP Constitution matters here. Now, even if there is an ambiguity, I don't see any ambiguity in this, but if my senior colleague sees an ambiguity in it, that look, the Article 97 1G, there's ambiguity in it, and therefore the Supreme Court should interpret it. It is very clear the MPP Constitution, Article 9, takes away all the ambiguities and says that if you are seeking to contest as an independent member of parliament against an official candidate of the NPP, that you automatically forfeit your membership, automatically. So the day the three members of parliament filed, they cease to be members of the NPP. So even if there is an ambiguity in this matter, and the Constitution, there's an ambiguity. I don't even see any ambiguity in it. But even if there's an ambiguity, the NPP Constitution Article 9 settles the matter. Settles the matter. So there isn't any matter to be settled. It's settled.
Okay. Honorable, you say it is settled. Let me ask you my final question before we let you go. How dangerous is this power play we are seeing in Parliament, especially for the 9th and subsequent Parliament to follow? Where do you see the end of all of this?
Well, I don't see it to be a danger. For me, I am a political scientist. And frankly speaking, even though many people do not know that I have LLB, of course, with a very good class, it's just that I chose not to go to Makwala because I didn't even do the LLB to practice. I did it for academic purposes. What I can say is that it enriches our democracy the more. As a political scientist, I don't see it to be a danger to our democracy. I see it to be one of the processes by which we can make our democracy more resilient. The parliament we have today, we have never had that parliament. I don't think Africa, any country, have had this parliament before. At least even in Ghana, we have never had a hung parliament like this. We have never had a parliament where a member from the opposition party is elected as a speaker, yet still we're able to work together for 4 years. 4 years. Unknown to many people, if you look at the work we have done in Parliament, 99% of the work we have done in this Parliament, in this so-called, on this hung Parliament, we did them and achieved them through consensus building, because that is what Parliament is supposed to be doing. We have built consensus. So I don't see it to be something that is dangerous. Look, our democracy is resilient, and we have demonstrated that time beyond number. Those of us in academia, we look at this and we are happy because it helps. Maybe perhaps I need to be doing a research on some of these issues. We need to look at them to a very large extent, and it helps young people who may want to get engaged in the political history of this country, in democracy, in political science and international relations, and even in law. It's something that would help. So me, I don't see it as a danger. Okay. What we all expect is that, look, the MPP needs to understand that the reason why we sat at where we sat when this parliament began, because we didn't want tension. After all, they are not majority, we are not majority. An independent member of parliament is not a member of the MPP. He only agreed to sit and voting with the MPP. It doesn't make him an MPP member of parliament. And therefore, we have a hung parliament. Where he needed to have sat by convention was in the middle. But one person, how can he sit in the middle? So we agreed to sit at where we sat because the speaker intervened and spoke with us, President Mahama spoke with us, and we didn't want turmoil. After they brought military into the chamber, the NPP brought military into the chamber. I thought the lawyers should be condemning that. And now when Professor Mafokwe gave his ruling, I've seen lawyers who hailed it at that time. I said it was the right thing to do. Interestingly, some of those lawyers today are now condemning it, and when you ask, they say Mafokwe was wrong. Oh, he was wrong there. And they are now saying he was wrong against what they celebrated because they want to describe this one as being wrong. I mean, we should have some principles. Unfortunately, within the MPP analysis, like principles have taken a sabbatical leave. Let's wait until principles end their sabbatical leave and return, I believe that we'll have sanity in our democratic discourse.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable.
And thanks for having me.
Honorable Murtala Mohammed is the MP for Tamale. He's the MP for Tamale Central. He says within the NPP, principals have taken a sabbatical. Lawyer Adolfo, how dangerous is this power play we are seeing in Parliament, especially for subsequent parliaments to follow? And where do you see all of this ending? Honorable Murtala says that he doesn't see it as a danger at all. The situation in Parliament is not dangerous. Where do you stand on this?
Well, look, I and you and the country as a whole, we are not happy with this drama going on in Parliament. And if this is going to continue, then it's dangerous for this country. For example, the first quarter budget cannot be passed when they are not able to go and work. There will be lots of people who will be unemployed. They will work without being paid. And this is not good for the country. And I think it's dangerous for the country. I think the earlier they put themselves together and come and do some work, to be the better for all of us. Because at the end of the day, and that's what I said, even if the NDC is now declared the majority, can they use their majority to do any work? Can they make any laws? The answer is absolutely no. Because even if you pass any bill, the president will not pass it, will not sign it. So it would never become a law. They should rather concentrate on winning the next election with an absolute majority in Parliament, so that when they come here, they will be able to do their work, rather than us bowing to the sun that is about to set. In the sense that there's a saying that we bow to the rising sun, not the sun that is about to set. This Parliament is nearly expired. Only 3 weeks and the Parliament will not be there. So why are they wasting their time? I think it's just a total waste of time, and they should stop what they are doing. Get the leadership together, talk to each other, come to work, pass the bills, go and get the mandate of the people in the next election, and then come in and run the country. That's what they should be doing. And that will be the interest of the whole country.
This will be the interest of the whole country. We are grateful for your time this morning, Lawyer Adolfo.
You're always welcome.
Lawyer Kwame Adolfo is a constitutional lawyer, and Honorable Murtala Mohammed is the MP for Tamale Central. This conversation on the impasse in Parliament, we have gotten this far from when the NDC invoked Article 97 up until today. Yesterday, the NPP didn't show up in Parliament. Speaker indefinitely suspended Parliament or adjourned Parliament again. Let's see what happens. But we are looking forward to the interpretation of the provision in the Constitution, Article 97, so that we can all have clear minds on everything happening in Parliament. That's all for the discussion. Let's take a short break. When we are back, Politics Today. In the morning. Into politics today, we are looking at the mistrust in the Electoral Commission with only 28 days to the elections. With exactly 4 weeks to the elections, there seems to be some mistrust in the Electoral Commission of Ghana from some political parties, especially the leading opposition party, the National Democratic Congress. This mistrust started when the Electoral Commission announced the processes and electoral calendar for the elections earlier this year, from the registration of voters to the exhibition process, the filing of nominations, up till the release of the final voters register on Wednesday, 6th November. The EC has faced several accusations and backlash from political parties and citizens alike. The Electoral Commission released the certified voter register to all political parties and independent presidential candidates as required by law. This move came amidst growing distrust in the Electoral Commission, with many Ghanaians expressing concerns about the fairness and transparency of the upcoming elections. According to a statement from the Electoral Commission, the soft copies of the certified voters register were provided on external hard drives and included various lists such as the valid voters register, exceptions list, and multiples list. Notably, the National Democratic Congress (NDC) requested a summary of these lists, which the Commission provided in the spirit of responsiveness. However, this gesture may not be enough to alleviate the mistrust that has been building up. Recent surveys have shown that public trust in the Electoral Commission is at an all-time low, with only 33% of Ghanaians saying they trust the Commission somewhat or a lot. How dangerous is this mistrust with the EC going into the elections? Let's have a conversation with the convener of Election Watch Ghana, Mark Ewusi Akun, on how dangerous it is that just 29 days into the elections, people still have some level of mistrust in the Electoral Commission. Is it okay for our democracy that we enter into an election with this kind of sentiment? 33% of Ghanaians have said that they trust the Electoral Commission somewhat or just a little bit getting into the election. This is supposed to be the referee that will be officiating the match, so to speak. If people don't trust them, and especially a large political party like the NDC that has a huge number of following, how does this bode for our elections and the referee of the elections? We're looking to speak with Mark Ewusi Akun, the convener for Election Watch Ghana. But you're reminded that on ABC News GH, we have the Poll Center, your go-to guide for credible information on the elections. And on the Poll Center, we say votes, not violence. Do not be a conduit or tool for violence come December 7, before during and after the elections. While we look at speaking with Mark Ewusi Aku, the convener, we will on Ghana Speaks ask you a question, and we're looking forward to receiving some answers from you. On Ghana Speaks, we are asking about the stalemate in Parliament. Tell us what you think about it. Tell us what you think about all that is happening in Parliament. So when we open the phone lines, we'll be looking to hearing from you on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Back on this issue with the Electoral Commission, a section of Ghanaians have also said that the Electoral Commission has done all they can. The Electoral Commission has accommodated all of the NDC's requests, and so do not understand where the NDC is coming from again. It seems the NDC is never satisfied with whatever the Electoral Commission does. Regardless of what the Electoral Commission does, it looks like the NDC, after the Electoral Commission has responded to their request, have extra requests to make of the Electoral Commission. Are you part of those who believe so, or you're also part of those who believe that indeed the Electoral Commission isn't inspiring trust in Ghanaians with the work they are doing? Let's read the Electoral Commission's press release dated 7th November 2024, yesterday. EC releases certified voters register to political parties. The Electoral Commission on Wednesday, 6th November 2024, provided all registered political parties and independent presidential candidates with the soft copies of the certified voters register in accordance with sub-regulation 4 of Regulation 27 of Constitutional Instrument CI 91. The soft copies, which were presented to the political parties on external hard drives, contained the valid voters register, the exceptions list, the multiples list, the transferred voters list, the absent voters list, the manual verification list, the proxy voters list, and the special voters list. At the meeting, the National Democratic Congress NDC requested for the summary of the above list. Although the Commission is not required by law to provide statistics of the various lists to parties, in the spirit of responsiveness, it granted the request by the NDC. To enhance transparency and accountability, the EC took the time to generate the summaries requested on regional basis. Realizing that this will take time to generate, the parties requested the EC to send the breakdowns to them after waiting patiently. The public should note that since 1992, the Electoral Commission has always provided only the soft copies of the certified voters register to the political parties without the breakdown of statistics requested by the NDC. The Commission also wishes to place on record that, as was promised during the IPAC meeting on the 15th of October 2024, the Commission duly delivered on its promise to release the certified voters register within the first week of November 2024. The Commission assures all stakeholders that the certified voters register is robust and credible. We urge the public to support the Commission to deliver free, fair, transparent, and credible elections in December 2024. Signed, Samuel Tete, the Deputy Chairman for Operations. Mark Ewusi Aku is the convener for Election Watch Ghana. He joins us. Good morning, Mark. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Mark, how dangerous is the seeming mistrust in the Electoral Commission being fanned by some political parties ahead of the elections?
Just as I said, thank you for having me this morning. I think that the release from the Electoral Commission is so appalling, and for me, it endangers the trust that the good people of Ghana have in the Electoral Commission. I can also establish that this particular release have also contributed to the draining down of the trust stakeholders, i.e. political parties, have for the Electoral Commission. From the statement you read and what the Commission gave out, that since 1992, the Electoral Commission have never given out any voter statistics whatsoever to political parties or stakeholders. I think this shouldn't have come from the Electoral Commission. This is totally disrespectful to the Ghanaian people and to stakeholders as far as our democracy is concerned. We are not in the days of the Nkrumah, where basic informations would be hidden from the good people of Ghana. We are talking about a commission that ought to be very, very transparent. And for that matter, the transparency of the commission will contribute to its integrity in safeguarding our democracy and also ensuring that our electoral credentials and processes goes up to stand a very high place as far as African democracy and the world democracy is concerned.
Okay.
What would be wrong what would be wrong when the commission gives out these statistics? And what are the statistics they are asking or demanding for? They are basic demands, basic statistics. The number of transfers you have done, the full disclosure of the statistics, which includes the how do you call it, the male and females you have registered, transferred you have done, number of proxy voters, and then the special voters representation. These are basic information. And so if they are saying that in the past it has not been done, does it mean that we should continue to be where we are and to moving forward as a country?
Mark, is it the case that some parties are just setting up the EC for ridicule, just to score political points, or is it that the EC is not helping itself?
Oh, how can we say a party is setting up the Electoral Commission for public ridicule? They are ridiculing themselves. The Electoral Commission have now become a state institution that is full of jokes. No, how can the commission issue such a statement? That's from 1992. These informations have not been given. When we know currently that where we stand, we need the commission to be very, very transparent. And so it will be in the good interest of the commission to even release it just upon the request of the political parties. Why would you come out to give us this information? So you are ridiculing yourself. And that's for political parties. When you come out with these kind of positions that seem to undermine transparency, you'll be ridiculed. You'll just be ridiculed. And I think it is not good for our Electoral Commission. Okay. They should be responsible. Okay? They should be responsible at the duties and the responsibilities they've given to them. They shouldn't be allowing themselves to be, swayed into any kind of jovial attitude that will put them into the public for them to be ridiculed. I think it is not the best.
Mark, we have a few days left to the elections. What can the EC do to salvage this reputation that you say is full of jokes?
Building integrity takes a time. And it takes a lot of processes into ensuring that you build up a meaningful and respectable integrity or institution. We know that from the time of past commissioners, the Electoral Commission have maintained its integrity, even if at some point people find reasons to undermine their duties by way of reducing their level of integrity. This commission is on record to have undermined its own integrity. I'm not even talking about the appointment made there, but if you look at the 2024 elections and the processes, activities and actions that have been conducted by the Electoral Commission itself, starting from registration figures that were wrong, and if you ask them, they say it is the figures were tabulated with Kura draw. I mean, so you see, so it is going to be very difficult at this particular moment for the Electoral Commission to redeem back its image, simply because it takes time to build such integrity, it takes time to build such image, it takes time to get the people to trust you. And so if you have eroded all these meaningful things that will make the people trust you, things that will increase the integrity that you have, you have messed it up yourself, you have eroded all these things yourself, then it means that we need time to come back to where we ought to belong. And in doing that, I think the current commissioners ought to be changed. Because so far as they are still there, they will continue to put themselves out there for public ridicule. They will continue to be joking, and they will continue to be issuing statements that are unrealistic.
They will continue to issue statements that are unrealistic. So you do not have any trust in the Electoral Commission as we get into the elections?
Oh, well, if you look at the processes they've gone through, and we have been engaging them very closely. And if I should tell you that I should measure the trust I have for the Electoral Commission, I'll tell you just about 27% or 30%. I don't trust them. Not at all. Because from the day of registration to the day of transfer, how can we have an Electoral Commission that stakeholders are to monitor or observe vote transfer so that they know what exactly the Electoral Commission is doing? And it is also to improve on our level of transparency as far as the Electoral Commission's duty is concerned. And the Commission comes out to issue a communique that their regional and district officers should not allow any political party who are the stakeholders to observe the transfer process. So when you do this, do you expect me to trust you? How can I?
Mark, before you go, your outfit sent an RTI request to the EC. You are requesting for details on the printing houses and the cost for printing. Have you received any details yet? What is the development on your RTI request?
The Electoral Commission, I don't know whether it has become part of its behavior. It does not respond to letters. We are not the only people or group crying foul. But to answer this, I think the Commission have not responded to these basic information that we have demanded. We don't want to preempt that because they have fallen foul of the law, that is why they have not responded. But as the law demands, Act 989 of the RTI Act, 14 days after the submission, we would have to write back to the RTI Commission. In fact, we have written a follow-up letter to the Electoral Commission on these same demands. No response have come to us. And so hopefully today or early Monday would write to the RTI Commission, reporting the Electoral Commission to them, and copy the Chief Justice, copy the Speaker of Parliament, copy the IGP, copy Auditor General, copy Special Prosecutor, and copy the media as well.
Okay. Then we'll be looking forward to what transpires after your letter. Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Mark.
I'm most grateful.
Mark Ewusi-Akon is the convener of Election Watch Ghana. That's all for politics today. Let's have Ghana Speaks.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there have been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
This is Ghana Speaks. Your voice matters. It's only your voice we want to hear. Call us on 053-916-1609. Have your say on what happened in Parliament yesterday. Have your say on what happened in Parliament yesterday. Call us 053-916-1609. While we wait for you to call, the other time we hit the streets to find out what Ghanaians thought of what was happening in Parliament at the time. Let's listen to them whilst we wait for your call. When the whole issue about Article 97 came up, there were so many conversations. where some believe that the NDC was doing too much, others also believe that the NPP had set a precedent through the former Speaker Michael Quay, and that they were reaping what they had sown. So it should go on like that. Ghanaians had a lot to say. Today, we have gotten to the point where yesterday, Speaker had to again indefinitely adjourn Parliament. Court has given a ruling. Speaker has also had a press conference. We wait for the court to interpret the provision in the article. At the moment, our Parliament is not doing any active business. What do you have to say about it? What does it mean to you as a Ghanaian? How are you receiving all that is happening in Parliament? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Kobe.
Turn down your volume, the volume of your TV set, so that we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello?
My name is Kobe.
Okay, Kobe, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from La Paz.
Okay. In 30 seconds, what do you have to say about what is happening in Parliament?
I have a simple two issue. First, the interview we had with the Mutala. Yes. You are wasting my time. Let's just make it straight. The issue you had with the Mutala, the lawyer told you that the speaker constitutes the powers of the High Court. So there's need to go to Supreme Court. He doesn't want to have even a time to listen to what the lawyer is saying. He said the speaker carries the power of the High Court. So it is right to be in the Supreme Court. He is saying that the lawyer is, I agree with you that even where the MPP went is wrong. They don't even have time even to listen. I'm not part of the interview. I'm just listening. But just listen. What the lawyer says is simple. And everybody can hear it. But you come and misquote him again. Then this recent guy, the guy that the election watch guy you just interviewed. Some of these people, it's better you don't interview them at all. Look at what he's saying. It's better you don't interview them at all. What I don't hear his head and tail of what is the kind of trust you want. Some of these things, it doesn't all go well for all of us. They are all political skewed. They are all political, so they have to stop these things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kobe. Kobe from La Paz has had his say. You too have your say. 0539161609. What's happening in Parliament? How does it vote for you as a Ghanaian? We have just a few days to elections. This Parliament started on a very high. The emotions were high when we're starting the Parliament. We are about ending it when it seems so. What do you think? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning, madam. I'm George calling from Wa.
Okay, George, have your say.
Yes, madam, the whole issue is simple. When you have a government that is power drunk, always imposing people in packing all his party folk at High Court, this is what happens. This Afinoma case to just come, call this is the Atu forcing. To a large extent, everybody should call both parties together, have a consensus, and things will move on. That's just only the simple thing that has to happen. This is not any big deal. Like Joe White, if Joe White was the majority leader, all this will not happen.
Okay.
Yes, that's my take, madam.
Thank you. Yeah. You can also call us 0539161609. Have your say on what's happening in Parliament. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Okay. Call us 0539161609. Let's take some two callers and then we'll be done with Ghana Speaks. But know that we'll be bringing ABC in the morning to your constituencies. Okay. Barely 30 days to the elections. We are bringing ABC in the morning to your constituencies. So even if you call and you don't reach us, don't worry. We are coming to your doorsteps where you will have all of the opportunity to speak to Ghana and tell Ghanaians what you think, especially as we are getting closer to the elections. 0539161609. What's happening in Parliament? What do you have to say about that? And also know that on ABC News GH, we have the Poll Center, your go-to guide for everything credible on the elections. If you want to follow the elections, it is ABC News GH. You should be following. We are bringing you Poll Center. And at the Poll Center, we are advocating for votes, not violence. Before, during, and after the elections, make it a point that you are going to stick to the side of voting and not be used as a tool or conduit for violence. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, sir?
My name is Hanan calling from one.
Okay. What do you have to say about Parliament in just 30 seconds?
After Parliament, yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Turn down the volume of your TV so that you can speak freely, sir. 0539161609. Call us. Tell us what you think about what's happening in Parliament. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. My name is Moses. I'm calling from Dambai.
Okay, Moses. What do you have to say about Parliament?
It's a shame.
It's a shame, eh?
It's a very big disgrace.
Okay, explain to us why it's a shame.
The Speaker of Parliament is just trying to show his ego. He's too proud of himself. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't understand why he wants to put the country in his pocket.
Okay.
The Supreme Court has given an order that you need to obey. Instead of you to obey, you are going about doing whatever you like and allowing the people of Ghana to be on hold. To allow Ghana to be wasting money and calling Parliament to come. You come and then you do what you like. You put the order of the Supreme Court aside. It shouldn't be so.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So the Speaker is not doing the country anything good at all.
Okay. The Speaker is not doing the country anything good. Thank you for calling. That's all for Ghana Speaks. We'll open the phone lines for you in subsequent conversations when we enter the new week, and you also have your say on ABC in the morning. Up next is Happier. We give you the opportunity to send your well wishes to your friends and loved ones. Some have sent their well wishes. Let's help them wish their friends and loved ones. This is happy birthday to Councillor Nana of Efiria TV series. This is coming from your fan base. Though a bit late, we couldn't let the celebration pass without sending our love and warmest wishes your way. Your incredible talent and unwavering passion continue to inspire us every day, and we are grateful to have the joy of witnessing your journey. We hope your birthday was as amazing and special as you are. May the year ahead be filled with love, laughter, and endless blessings. Thank you for sharing your light with the world and for bringing so much joy into our lives. Happy birthday, Councillor Nana. For those of us who grew up on the Efiria series, we want to join your fan base to say happy birthday to you. This is a happy birthday to little Marge Ado from your father Kwame Ado and Mamfie Kuyapim. Happy birthday, little Marge Ado, to my precious daughter. I may be a little late, but my love for you is always on time and forever strong. Watching you grow into the amazing person you are today has been one of the greatest joys of my life. You fill my world with so much happiness and pride, and I am endlessly grateful for the light you bring into every moment. I hope your birthday was as wonderful and special as you are, full of laughter, love, and everything you cherish. From your father Kwame Ado, from Mamfie Kuyapim. Yes. So happy birthday, little Marge Ado. And that's all for Happy. If you want us to help you wish your friends, your loved ones a happy birthday, just get in touch with us and we will do that for you. And that's how we end ABC in the morning today. We always have executive interview. You have that venture, that startup, that business, get in touch with us and be featured on Executive Interview. You're reminded about the Poll Center. The Poll Center, your go-to guide for everything elections. It's votes, not violence. So be glued to ABC News GH so that you're updated with everything you need for the election. So you take a decision and take it with all confidence. Thank you for joining us this whole week on ABC in the Morning. I'm glad to have come your way. Today we looked at the Boko conflict. We looked at your business. We asked you questions about whether you are making profits on your business. We brought you Politics Today, where we looked at the mistrust in the Electoral Commission. On main discussion, the impasse in Parliament. And on Ghana Speaks, we had your voice on what is happening in Parliament. We're grateful to all our guests who gracefully joined us and gave us their insights on the matters, and to you for calling into the show, to sharing your insights. To thank you to the amazing team and the crew. We'll come your way same time next week. Remember that we'll be coming to your constituencies, so when you see us, get closer and let's have a conversation. I hope and wish that the weekend is a beautiful one for you. Have a wonderful and beautiful weekend, and come back on Monday stronger, brighter and fresher. I am Abena Mante. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Intense learning in a particular part of the brain. We know the posterior hippocampus is absolutely involved in spatial learning. That can change the actual structure and the function.
How much of a difference can we make? I'm 31 years old now.
Yeah.
So if I got serious about my brain health,
yeah,
how much of a difference can I realistically see? You know, I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it.
Yeah.
If it's worth caring about my brain.
Mm.
Is there any evidence within the literature, within studies that have been done that show if I start now, even though I'm like 30, 31 years old, my life will be different in the future in the areas that I care about profoundly if I start caring about my brain?
Let me be very, very concrete here. The answer is absolutely yes. First, I'm going to give you results of a study in people that are 65 and older. So studied people that are 65 and older and asked, what is the probability of getting dementia in the next 6 years, depending on the level of activity that you have? Just right now.
Physical activity.
Physical activity. And they measured it in how many walks you take per week. And if you took 3 walks a week or more, you were 30% less likely to develop dementia in the next 5 years. So, 30% less likely to develop dementia. My father passed away of Alzheimer's dementia. That makes me sit up and take notice. But the thing that should make you, as a 31-year-old, really sit up and take notice is the larger correlations that show that the longer you have regular physical activity in your life, the longer you're able to stave off dementia, the more active you are over your lifetime. That first study shows that it's never too late to start. You can start walking regularly, which is doable when you're perhaps at that age. But the longer you stay active, the bigger and fatter and fluffier your brain will be. Why does that make sense? So one key piece of information that I haven't told you yet is that we know that physical activity is releasing every single time you move your body, you're releasing a whole bunch of neurochemicals in your brain. Some of them make you just feel good. Serotonin, dopamine, noradrenaline, endorphins. Yeah, I feel good. If I go out for a walk, I feel better than if I had been sitting here for 8 hours. But the other thing that gets released every single time is growth factors. I like to call it a bubble bath of neurochemicals that happens every time you move your body. What that growth factor does is it goes directly into your hippocampus and it helps brand new cells grow in your hippocampus. The hippocampus is only one of 2 total brain areas where new cells can grow. That's not the same as synapses, which are connections in the cells that are already there. But the hippocampus can grow new cells. And this is really important because many people know that the hippocampus is attacked first in Alzheimer's dementia. And so exercise is not going to eliminate that disease state. But if you start with a huge, fluffy hippocampus, it's going to take that disease that much longer to actually damage enough of your hippocampus so that you start seeing those telltale signs of memory impairment that comes with Alzheimer's disease and dementia in general. Same thing with the prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex can grow with physical activity. That's not neurons, but new synapses can grow. Age and neurodegenerative disease states can damage cells, but also take away synapses.
I've got 2 questions on that. So the first is about dementia and Alzheimer's. Do we know what's causing it?
No.
We still don't know?
No. And there's not good drugs, unfortunately, right now.
There's a lot of links to lifestyle choices though, right?
Yes, absolutely. And so, of course, based on what I just said, my number one most powerful tool that you can do to protect your brain from aging and neurodegenerative disease states is start walking. Why do I start with that? Because everybody can walk. You don't need to buy any new fitness outfits. Just go out and walk more. And then they say, oh, well, do I have to become a marathon runner? That could help too. But everybody can walk. And from that study that I mentioned in the 65-year-old,